Hello YouTube, I'm David with the David West channel. Do you remember several years ago when on a loan they were up in Canada, and it's the season where Mitch from Native Survival and Bushcraft won. When they first got there, nobody could make a fire because not only was all the tinder and the kindling and the fuel wood wet, it pretty much stayed that way all the time. Shortly after that, I made my first video of igniting your clothes for emergency tinder. And I think the first item that I showed was igniting your underwear. Down through the years since then, I have shown mostly igniting socks, pieces of t-shirt, pieces of your denim jeans. So I want to show you again that a great emergency tinder, that a great emergency tinder is an article of your clothing or just a piece of that article. Let's use this wayward glove right here. All right, let's put it together. I do like a log cabin fire lay inside the stove. Got to hold it so it won't roll in on itself. All right, let's put some uprights in there. Kind of hold my mediums in place, keep them from rolling off the stove. Some of these smalls. That looks good. And I'll save these other smalls to put on top of the flaming glove. Keychain Ferro Rod. It's a bayite, 3 1/8 by 5/16, and my Stanley 10-049. That took several strikes, but we got it to ignite. A lot of synthetics in that. It should burn really, really well. Let's let it take off for a while, and then we'll put some of these smalls on there. We'll put these smalls on top of those flames, then I'll put you on time lapse, and when everything gets caught and it's burning really well, we'll take it off time lapse. I like this angle over here better. We'll watch it for a while on regular speed. Here is some water oak that I was working with yesterday. Here's the other remnants of it. Let's go ahead and make fire with it 3 different ways. We'll take these leaves and make a ferro rod ignition, make a fire with that. Then I'll take some of the thicker pieces and get some shavings, and we'll go ahead and use flint and steel and char cloth and ignite that to flames. And then I believe I have straight enough wood in this piece to go ahead and make a bow drill set. Let me show you. All right. I'll try to crunch them up a little bit, but they don't need much processing. They need to sort of hold together in a ball, but they will not. So we'll do the best we can do. And you've seen my keychain ferro rod over and over again. It's a bayite, 3 1/8 inches long by 5/16. My well-worn keychain ferro rod. You don't see any ripples on there, do you? Just a bunch of straight, smooth pathways. You don't ever want to use a ferro rod that's so hard that it makes ripples and that you have to fight those ripples with every single scrape that you make of it. And my mower companion, stainless steel, looking kind of dirty, isn't it? Let's give it a chance to build. I don't want to rake it off into the stove until I have plenty of coals built up on it. Let's try that. Get some shavings off of this bigger piece, and we'll go ahead and flint and steel, ignite some char cloth, and ignite that shavings tinder bundle. My steel is made out of a Nicholson file, and I'd like for you to go check out that playlist in the description. Here is some chert from Texas. Not the best stuff I've ever used. The best chert comes from Logical Provisions. And just a piece of our denim char cloth. Let's go ahead and make a shavings tinder bundle, go to flames, and start our fire. One little thread caught, but that's all it takes. Something stabbing me in the hand over on this side. You see how much more lasting denim char cloth is than t-shirt material? I'm gonna adjust the camera so I don't have to be bent over the entire time in that shot. How about right there? It'll take a while. It'll take at least a minute to blow that into flames. Our objective is not to get flames, but to get as big an ember as we could possibly make before we have to set it down inside the hobo stove. So a lot of times I'll just ignore a pop-up flame. Just keep on building that ember. It's hard to show you this. Can you see that flame down in the can you see that ember down in the middle getting bigger and bigger? You have to give it time. Give it time to transfer heat and to grow larger and larger. Sometimes when I think the ember is big enough, I'll go ahead and put it in the stove and then blow it into flames. But most of the time, I get a flame in my hand first. All right, let's give it a few minutes to show you that it did get established, and then we'll start Let's see. Start working on our bow drill set. Well, I wonder if this is just on the surface, because this would be a good spot for a spindle. I'm going to cut away some of that and just take a look at what's directly underneath. What's directly underneath that damaged wood right there. Alright, I always like to use the hardest end for the bearing block. So I will come down 1.5 inches, bring it to a point until that point is on center, turn it 90 degrees, make sure the point is still on center. And this side here for the hot end is just 3 levels of facets. Come down 1/4 inch, cut facets all the way around. Come up 1/8 inch, cut facets all the way around. Come up 1/16, facets all the way around. That is a nice 8-inch spindle. All right, let's do a fireboard now. I use this one, it's the thickest. All right, on these last 2 inches, I had to come down on the diameter so it could fit the fireboard. We are ready to go ahead and try it out. Let's go ahead and do a burn-in. Alright, there must be a little bit of moisture in this set because the dust stuck to the top of the fireboard. I'm going to cut a notch. You want to use a square point notch when you suspect that your set has moisture in it. Or just use it all the time. I'm going to process up those pine needles. give it a try. We've got water oak on water oak tinder, fat wood bearing block, demonstrating 3 different ways to make fire with water oak. Let's let it coalesce a little bit. You've got to let that ember sit and come together. And that just takes a little bit of time. I know you want to jump right on it. Try to get it to go to flames, but be patient. Alright y'all, do me a favor. Before you leave my channel, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and in that drop down list, select all, and do give the video a like. I appreciate you joining me on this one. We'll catch you on the next one. I could give you a close-up of that, couldn't I? Just barely stayed on that narrow fireboard, didn't I? Narrow and thin, but it worked out pretty nice. We'll catch you on the next one.